Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing the Prince of Persia franchise on the Steam Deck. So, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, War Within, Two Thrones, Prince of Persia 2008, and Forgotten Sands. So, as you can see, I have Uplay open. If you want to see how to install Uplay, link in the description. Otherwise, if you have these games on Steam, it should be an easier time setting them up. But many of them require widescreen fixes, so I'll teach you first how to make Sands of Time work, then War Within, then the Two Thrones. So let's get started with the Sands of Time. So for the Sands of Time to work properly and use the entire screen as it should, we're using the widescreen patcher. This was the easiest way that I found. There's another ways, but made the game crash for me, so download this. Once you extract the contents of the zip file, which you will see here in downloads, you get this executable. So you need to launch this with Steam, add game, add a non-Steam game, browse, go to downloads and select the executable you just downloaded. You just need to do this once. After this, you shouldn't need to do it again. So once you have it here on Steam, right click, properties, compatibility, check whichever Proton you want. I'm using experimental just as I have it. Click on play and it will open the software. So give it a few seconds and it will launch it. And you have this universal patcher. On game, check Prince of Persia Sands of Time. And you can use it, find it for me, or find it on the ZITS drive, which is your SSD. Let's try find it for me. There we go. It found it for me, so it's here. And the screen width, it will say something like 640 by 480, so check 1280 by 800, type it here, press patch, it'll say it was successfully patched, click OK, and you're done. You can remove this from here and remove the downloaded content, then go either to Steam or Uplay and click on play, go into the options menu and select the resolution, so it'll be now part of the game basically. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so when starting the game for the first time, you'll see that you can now select this resolution and everything is on the highest settings. There's no anti-aliasing, unfortunately, and you need to map your trackpad to your mouse to be able to move in the menus. You also need to map your gamepad because at the start the game doesn't have that. It only has the keyboard prompts. So go to gamepad, double click on each of these options and you can map them to your controller without an issue. So let's play the game. I also recommend you add the escape key. Otherwise, you won't be able to get out of the menu. So you need the escape key mapped to your Steam controller. Maybe one of the back buttons. It's a good idea. And there you go, 6 FPS. You'll see that it has a lot of Yagis and all that. Well, that's pretty normal. It doesn't have anti-aliasing, so it kind of makes sense. Oh, I have to press jump. Okay, I thought I had to run through the wall. Along the wall. So yeah, very nostalgic. You can play it on your entire screen now. And it works fantastically well. I disabled music because, you know, copyright, you never know. So now that you saw it on the capture card, let's see it on the smaller screen. I think that's what counts. So one sec. Alright guys, welcome back. So now we got the game on handheld mode. Whoa, I don't know what happened with the camera there. But as you can see now, there we go. One thing that I do not recommend you do is put the Steam Deck on sleep mode for this game. I don't know why, but it just loses all the inputs when you put it in sleep mode. So this is one of those games where you cannot take advantage of that, which is a shame. But hey, you got 4 hours of battery, 4.5 hours actually. Considering the age of the game, it kinda makes sense. I forgot how to block. Oh, there we go. And to think from this came out Assassin's Creed. Badass. But anyway,
Many men that day sought to win honor
works
from
great.
the
As you can
battle.
see, 6 FPS, long battery life, plus you can actually
You are the noblest of my warriors.
play it better than on the stock settings. Again, stock settings is 4x3, 1024x768, which is not bad, but I mean, if you can use the entire screen instead, that's a huge plus, in my opinion.
And the wonders within.
So yeah, highly recommended. I have it on Uplay, so link in the description again on how to install Uplay on the Steam Deck. It's very simple. So yeah. Anyway, let's jump into War Within. Most people's favorite Prince of Persia. Once I get this one, there we go. Reduce 2 atoms. So yeah, let's go. For Prince of Persia, War Within and The Two Thrones, follow the link in the description again, and download both of them. These are the widescreen patches, and this one requires a tiny bit more work. So in downloads, you'll see each of them. So first, go to the games folder. Since I installed the Ubisoft launcher, I have them here in an easy place to find them. But if you have them on Steam, right-click on the game, manage, browse local files, and you'll find it. That's the game folder. So anyway, let's go into War Within first. And in downloads, you have this, the widescreen patch. Open it. Open this zip file as well. And you have all these files, so you just need to drag them into the game folder. So drag them. Oh, and it has a password is pop2, which is pretty funny. And just overwrite if there's anything to overwrite. Once you do so, scroll down to pop.ini, which is pop2.ini, and put whichever resolution you want. In our case, 800p. So 800p. And let's keep the Xbox FOV as well. Once you do this, also hang on, the HUD for 16:10 is this one, so we put it here. We save, we close, and we do the same with the Two Thrones. And finally, on each of the games on Steam, you right-click, Properties, and add this command. If you don't have them on Steam, just paste this on Ubisoft Connect like I did here, and that will make the games launch with widescreen fixes. This you can copy and paste from the description if you're interested. And now it's just time to launch the games, so let's get there. Prince of Persia: The War Within. With the widescreen patch, we have 800p, everything on the highest, and in basic, there's no anisotropic filtering at this time in history, so yeah. And I recommend you also remap the controls for the gamepad, otherwise it looks horrible. And as you can see, the audio is not good. Well, that's because I disabled music for copyright reasons, thanks Ubisoft. And the fire effects look a little fast motion. Well, that's because the game is designed for 30 FPS. So lock it to 30 or 40 maybe if you don't like the effects look like that.
Is that the best you have to offer?
But yeah, ignoring that, the game runs completely fine. And it's another game that doesn't have MSAA, so no anti-aliasing to speak of. And many of the missing audio is because there is no music. So yeah. Anyway, I think it's time to show you handheld mode. And yeah, show you how the game looks on the smaller screen. Despite the aliasing, I think it's pretty good. Welcome back. So now handheld mode, as you can see, completely fine. Still looks great. And again, apologies for the audio. It's just what happens when you turn off music in this game. And this part will be hilarious because there's FMVs mixed with gameplay. Let's just say the FMVs didn't age particularly well when it comes to resolution. So yeah, prepare to laugh. So you're here minding your own business when suddenly an FMV happens. Yeah, completely seamless. So yeah, there we are. Nicely done. By the way, the music in this game is badass. Completely badass. Very heavy guitars in the background. So yeah. And this one actually required some attention to get the parries correct. So yeah, we're within, works just fine, to be expected. Just needs the widescreen fix and you to pay attention to the controls basically. And make sure to turn the music up. Anyway, I think it's time to jump into the Two Thrones. Now I'm playing Prince of Persia The Two Thrones, and this one, as you can see, maximum settings, 4x MSAA, so finally we got anti-aliasing on this game. And well, using the widescreen fix, it'll say that we're not setting any resolution here, but it's 800p. It covers the entire screen. You can also remap the gamepad, but sometimes it doesn't work for me. So I don't know what's wrong with the gamepad in this game. So anyway, let's get into it. Alright guys, after many attempts, the native controller support was hit or miss. It stopped detecting my controller for no reason, so I made my own layout. You can see it right here, if you want to copy it. Just to match the mouse and keyboard controllers, so we don't have any issues. Then for the joysticks, joystick mouse on the right one, and directional pad on the left one. So we're now into the game, guys, with my custom controller thing. And now I can actually play with mouse and keyboard with a controller just fine, without it disconnecting randomly, like it happened before this, which was a pain in the butt. And the game works completely fine, as you can see.
It's better than nothing.
Man, what a classic. This was the first one I played on PlayStation 2, and then I played 1 and World Within. Excellent. So yeah, well, it looks good here. It looks even better on the smaller screen, so let's get there. Welcome back. We are now on handheld. As you can see, it looks even better. The jaggy edges that I saw while docked are non-existent. Just looks great. What a game. And you get, like on the previous ones, over 4 hours of battery. So yeah, highly recommended. But play the previous ones before. I mean, I have a hard time choosing the best one in the franchise, honestly. This one was a lot of fun. But I'm biased because this is the first one I played on PlayStation 2. Whoops. Okay, reduce to atoms. Yes. Good. Man, I love platforming in these games. So yeah, I think that's it for the Two Thrones. Let's jump into the next one, the reboot, Prince of Persia 2008. Let's get out of this, so... Yeah. Great visuals for its time. Let's jump into the next one. Before starting Prince of Persia 2008, there's one thing you need to do. In the case of Uplay, click on the game, Properties, Open Folder, so you get to the game's main folder, and you'll see lots of files. The thing is, the game launches right away on whichever resolution it decided. So open launcher, launcher.exe. This will launch the options menu, basically. Go to settings and select the resolution that you want, the anti-aliasing and the settings. Press OK, quit. You also need to close this. Let me close it very quickly. There we go. So we're back here and now you can launch the game. So see you in there. Welcome to Prince of Persia 2008. This one, you might see this and say, hey, this is Borderlands. Well, cell shading at its best. I think visually it aged very well, actually. We're native resolution on the highest settings, 4x MSAA, so the edges are pretty good visually. Holds up pretty well. I don't remember, oh god, so annoying. I don't remember how to run up the wall with a controller.
Hey, come back!
I'm guessing jumping. Never mind, not needed. Ah, there we go. That's how you do it. I forget that in the original you just need to, in this one, in the original you need to hold the button. Here you just jump and it's fine. That's such a weird way to reboot the game. Now make it like cartoony cel shaded thing. Anyway, time to see it in handheld. I think, again, that's what it holds up the best. So, one sec. Alright, now in handheld, we continue where we left off. The game will now teach us how to fight. But as you can see, battery life is worse than on the previous games. Instead of 4 hours, we get more like 2.5, maybe 3 if you're lucky. But it still doesn't use a lot of resources at all. It's using one core at 100% though, which is probably the reason why. If you want a little bit more battery, maybe disable the anti-aliasing. But the game will look very... well, it will have a lot of jaggies, especially being cel shaded like this, that it has a lot of very defined edges.
Not my girlfriend, she's my donkey.
You're risking your life for a donkey?
She's a good donkey. That and she's...
I'm sorry that you see my reflection in there.
Let's get out of here.
Hi.
If they don't see you with me, you'll be alright.
Hey, you!
But the good thing is it has great gamepad support, so I didn't have to do anything with the controls. Just make sure to open the launcher, to set the resolution the first time. And after that you should be good. There we go. Whoops. So yeah, this one I haven't finished. Well, many people told me it was pretty good. So yeah, I have it on Uplay. Oh man, I missed the jump. It's funny that I can endlessly jump though. The game just doesn't care. That's alright. But visually, I'm impressed with how it looks. It's just that I'm not used to the controls yet. It's been a while. Also, the camera is not cooperating for some reason. So I'll move the stick as little as possible. Oh, I went the other way. So yeah, let's jump into the next one. The most recent one in the franchise. And finally, Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Latest one in the franchise, visually the most advanced, which doesn't mean best looking. And when you launch the game for the first time, you'll get the options menu. So there I selected 800p, highest settings, 4 times MSAA, to get rid of those alias edges. And again, it's completely fine. So yeah. I forgot how to run up the walls, hang on. Why does it happen to me each time? Oh, I know. Holding A. No. R2. My bad.
He'll be planning a way out of this.
But again, this one ran fine on PC. I could have run it at 4K on a 1050 Ti. But I think it's a perfect game for portable play. Well, any of the ones that I showed you in the franchise are great for portable play. But this one has native controller support. Everything works out of the box without any widescreen fixes needed. So yeah. Whoops, wrong button. Well, that's a nice segue to swap to handheld mode, so one sec. Now in handheld, again, sorry for my reflection on the glass. The aliasing is completely absent, especially in a smaller screen like this. And I'm noticing that a CPU core is being used at 100%, which is pretty interesting. Very old game-like, using only one core. And according to this, is around 2 hours of battery, at least at 90%. So I'm guessing 2 hours, 40 minutes, base case scenario. Again, if you want more battery life, disable anti-aliasing. It's MSAA, so it's usually pretty taxing in comparison to newer methods nowadays.
Perhaps climbing up here wasn't the best idea.
But it's very visually appealing, at least in my opinion. It really does hold up pretty well, except in the shadow resolution. Shadows can be pretty blocky when you look at them close by. But again, otherwise, completely fine. So yeah, let's sum up all this video. So the Prince of Persia franchise, there's a new game coming early 2024. That is more like a 3D side-scrolling game. So nothing like the previous games in the franchise. Well, like the first game in the franchise maybe. So in the meantime, these are fine. The thing is, the first games require some widescreen fixes. The Two Thrones doesn't correctly detect the controller, so you need to do some weirdness. Otherwise, apart from the widescreen fixes, the games work just fine. If you don't take, again, into consideration, you need to do some minor tweaks that I showed you how to do in this video. If you have them on Steam, it will be even easier to launch them and patch them. So I showed you the difficult way by having the Uplay versions, which is what I own. I didn't want to buy them twice. So yeah, it's awesome, but it requires work. Not as bad as Splinter Cell on the Steam Deck. Those games really do need a lot of work to be fine on deck. But these ones work fantastically well considering their age. I was expecting more work needed for them to work properly. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did revisiting Prince of Persia. Sometimes I forget that Assassin's Creed came from this franchise. It's kind of interesting. But when you see it in motion, you understand where everything came from. Hopefully we get a game like this in the future. Classic Prince of Persia stuff. Third-person action similar to Assassin's Creed, but not in an open world thing with lots of icons everywhere. something more traditional that requires some platforming, which again, in my opinion, pretty solid platforming considering this game's age. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys.